generous support of our members. Thank you.
Covered bridges open a window onto America's restless, everyday past. The heyday of covered bridges was the 19th century, as farming, industry, and population pushed the frontier ever westward. Covered bridges were built along ancient trails and stream crossings, often near timber or grist mills. They offered travelers shelter from storms and gathered villagers for public or secret meetings. In their day, covered bridges were considered marvels of engineering, and so designers and builders are the rock stars of covered bridges. Their bridge supports, or trusses, are variations on a triangle, or for longer spans, the graceful arch. The earliest designers, like Ethiel Town and Theodore Burr, patented their truss designs and charged up to $5 a foot for their use. Covered bridges may seem quintessential Americana, but the idea was brought to our shores from Europe. Craftsmen adapted covered bridges to their own local streams and stone and timber, thereby giving expression to a true American genius. Today's passionate devotees of covered bridges, nicknamed bridgers, come from all walks of life: archivists, engineers, professors, writers. They're the unsung heroes behind many restoration and preservation efforts. For covered bridges are still vanishing, helpless victims of vandalism, flood, fire, and neglect. Join us for this exploration of covered bridges of Maryland and surrounding states, a nostalgic journey along the byways of time. Maryland's first two covered bridges were built by private investors over the mighty Susquehanna River in the early 1800s. The 4,000-foot covered bridge at Port Deposit was an engineering wonder of many spans. But Mike Dixon, Cecil County historian, recalls how it failed infamously.
The one at Port Deposit collapsed under the weight of a herd of 110 cattle one time.
Today, Maryland has 6 authentic historic covered bridges, all in northern counties. None survived over the Susquehanna, but the rest are all close enough to each other for a leisurely weekend road trip. The Roddy Road Covered Bridge, built in 1856 over Owens Creek north of Thermont in Frederick County, is Maryland's shortest covered bridge at only 45 feet. It has a simple triangular truss aficionados call a king post.
This is kind of a picture postcard setting.
Jeff Yoakum is with the nonprofit Frederick County Covered Bridge Preservation Society and lives near Roddy Road Bridge. Like all old bridges, Roddy Road has seen some history. They say Confederate soldiers crossed the bridge on the way to Gettysburg.
There is some evidence that Jeb Stuart actually took horses off to the farmhouse where I live in. So it's seen action all the way back to the Civil War.
Covered bridges' massive timbers are last reminders of America's mighty trees of long-gone virgin forests. Many of these timbers bear the mark of craftsmen's tools or traces of 19th century village notices, or even secret messages. Even vandals carving their initials feel the lure of covered bridges as places of lively local identity and expression. Nowhere is this sense of community more evident than at the Loy's Station Bridge, Frederick County. 90 feet long, it spans Owens Creek and is named for a nearby railroad stop, both part of the country's transportation history. Loy's Station was built about 1860, and during its long life, the bridge survived floods and ice jams, but in 1991, fell victim to the fiery torch of an arsonist. It was a senseless tragedy, one that echoes again and again in the story of covered bridges. Nothing remained of the beloved landmark but a charred skeleton, and the invincible spirit of the community.
We didn't want just the bridge replaced with a modern bridge. We all wanted the covered bridge back.
The community even sold shingles at $1 apiece, and Loy's Station reopened 3 years later with a jubilant rededication ceremony.
We had about 7,000 people show up. There was just a community effort to do something, put back into the community.
Utica Mills Covered Bridge over Fishing Creek in Frederick County originally spanned the Monocacy River. Dean Fitzgerald is president of the Frederick County Covered Bridge Preservation Society.
It was destroyed during the Johnstown flood in 1889. After the flood, the debris was relocated here and reconstructed in 1891.
The 101-foot bridge is supported by a soaring arch, and like all 3 Frederick County bridges, is a favorite of Civil War buffs, antique car enthusiasts, and bicycle groups. Brian King rides with the Frederick Peddlers Bicycle Club.
The sound closes in on you, and it's usually darker than the surrounding area, so it feels like you are just going through a tunnel and riding through history, and then emerging back out into the countryside.
Further east, Baltimore and Hartford counties each lay claim to half of Jericho Covered Bridge. The 84-foot-long bridge spans the Little Gunpowder Falls River, which, like many rivers, forms the boundary between 2 counties. Jericho Bridge linked historic Jerusalem Mills with cotton factories downstream, and now lies within Gunpowder Falls State Park. John McGrain is the Baltimore County historian.
There was a tradition that you should wish for something when you go over a bridge. Whether the wishes are granted is not the territory of historians.
Cecil County once had at least 21 covered bridges, though only 2 remain today. 119-foot Gilpin's Falls Covered Bridge spans Northeast Creek. It was built in 1860 along a major route from Pennsylvania to the upper Chesapeake Bay and its fishermen's wharves.